I'm working on a tie cutting project. I've made a decision that I've been tiptoeing around, dancing around for years. It's another root chakra ritual. I'm part of a larger project that I'm working on. And I drew a boundary, set a boundary when I was in treatment that I was taking a break and I didn't know how long it would last and if it would ever change. So there came a point, and I don't even remember what it was right now, but that's right. I felt that there was this question, and that I needed to, not a question, but an urgency to deciding how I wanted to proceed. If I knew that I wanted to know more about my history, and obviously I wanted help, and I wanted to try and work together on some stuff if we could, but there wasn't any of that to be had yet again. Just the lies, the superficial, the lack of acknowledgement. So I have made it clear that I can't be involved with this person. I haven't put it this way to them because I knew, knowing them, it would not go over well, that there would be some backlash from us saying anything, because that's always been the case whenever we call anything out or tried to, regarding the treatment of us, the things that happened. There were severe consequences. I can't, and they won't even acknowledge it. They won't even talk about it. So there's nothing that I could do. There's nothing I can do at this point. They've made the choice. And I talked to a friend for 5.5 hours last night. We didn't even realize how late it was getting. We realized at midnight, and then we talked for 2.5 more hours. So she's a family attorney, family law, and gosh, she's incredibly smart. She's single with her 2 kids now, and they're amazing. I love my friend, and it was such a helpful conversation to hear her story and the things that she had to say. And it was what I knew. And it just, it was so obvious. It's just such a, those things that people on the outside can see it. Once you see it, you realize oh man, this must have been so obvious, or this must be so obvious to the people around me. And she was talking about how she's able to stay in touch with one and not the other. And the difference isn't in how they are, except that one acknowledges their mental illness, acknowledges their failings in many ways. And they were the one to tell my friend about it. My friend didn't have to figure it out. They didn't have to research. They didn't have to do these things. So that's the parent that she can keep in contact with, even though that was the one who had on a daily basis far worse treatment of her. But that's not what it is. It's the living a lie. It's the living a lie that eats you alive, because it's so unauthentic. It's not you. It makes my solar plexus ache every morning. There's this expectation that I'm gonna have to do something, be something that I'm not, and do things that are horribly wrong for me and wrong for people. So it's time, and my patience for this work that I'm doing right now, I've been at this for hours now. This was a very well-made shirt. So taking the stitching out of it, it's taking time. This is actually a shirt that I got when I was in treatment at a secondhand store. And I was just so grateful that they allowed me to buy clothes. Because there's lots of complicated things going on there, body dysmorphia, when you're in treatment, and they don't encourage you to buy clothes unless you need them, of course, because then, that's also a thing where you want to have clothes that you're comfortable in and whatever. But yeah, this was on an outing, and I remember that it's like, to some degree, how we're going to feel when we can go out again someday and not think about getting sick, just looking around, and just like the freedom, like after a period of being so locked down. So we didn't get privileges to go out, and privileges to do a lot of things when we were in treatment until a week or 2 weeks in, and that varies depending on everybody and their situation and their behaviors when they're in there. But we were highly motivated and knew what we wanted to some degree. So we definitely it took a while. It wasn't until after treatment that we made much progress on our perfectionism, and that was something that they told us, like, you're trying to make your recovery perfect, like you gotta make some mistakes, and I make plenty of mistakes. But when I was in there, I was trying to do everything just so because I wanted my family back, and I wasn't always thinking about how I just needed to be in the present and focus on being there and doing the work, and I was able to do that for 3 weeks, close to 4 weeks, in residential, and then I got moved out, and I got a boost in energy, and was able to do that for a little bit. But then, for his birthday's looming, and I wanted my family back, and so I, in some respects, did kind of rush through treatment. But it was something where it's like, at that point, I couldn't have handled the guilt and the loneliness and the missing them anymore. That wouldn't have been good for my recovery. So it's just weird, and everybody's experience with that stuff is unique. I kind of lost track of what I was talking about. Just talking about treatment. And this shirt, when I got the shirt, oh yeah, so the outing, walk around and go to the crystal shop, and people were down with that, and that was cool. So we got to go do that, and I got my roommate, my first roommate, Got me my malachite elephant on that outing, and I got this shirt. And I love it. It's a cool shirt. It has a lot of interesting detail on it. And this is actually like quite soothing. I like taking out clipping the stitches. It's definitely nice for this like intentional, non-emotional, regimented, almost like tie cutting that I'm doing, because they put a lot of little stitches in me. Done cutting ties. There's nothing to it but to do it at this point, and it's just, like I said, a matter of figuring out. And now the canvas for this project is covered in red yarn now, red thread. So yeah, I am not a seamstress. This is gonna be fun. Ooh, I'm just gonna show you the back real quick. I didn't show you the back. It's really cool. I love it. It's like flowers and suns at the same time. You know, there's clearly a moon there. And then it even has this cute thing on it. Charm thing. It's just the brand. It's Save the Queen. So all of this is gonna, I like everything about this shirt. So like everything's gonna go on the coveralls. See, I'm not sure. It might just look cool over the dark blue. It probably doesn't need the green, since yeah, I kind of doubt it would need the green. Maybe only if it looks better. All right, that's that. Cutting ties.